I am so proud to stand here today as Prime Minister of 4 nations in one United Kingdom. I was always clear about why we called that referendum. Duck the fight, and our union could have been taken apart bit by bit. Take it on, and we had the chance to settle the question. This party has always confronted the big issues for the sake of our country. And now, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, we are one people in one union, and everyone here can be proud of that. The threat is Islamist extremist terrorism, and it has found a new hellish crucible with ISIL in Iraq and Syria. These people, they are evil, pure and simple. They kill children, rape women, threaten non-believers with genocide, behead journalists and aid workers. Now, some people seem to think we can opt out of this. We can't. As I speak, British servicemen and women are flying in the skies over Iraq. They saw action yesterday. And there will be troops on the front line, but they will be Iraqis, Kurds and Syrians fighting for the safe and democratic future that they deserve. We are acting in partnership with a range of countries, including those from the region. Because let us be clear, there is no walk-on-by option. Unless we deal with ISIL, they will deal with us, bringing terror and murder to our streets. Now, when he was a teenager, he didn't only address the Tory party conference, he read Hansard in bed, and he had a record collection that apparently consisted of 1 album by Dire Straits and dozens of speeches by Winston Churchill. His dad said he was just a normal, happy boy. Well, all I can say is this. That boy became an amazing parliamentarian, a brilliant foreign secretary, our greatest living Yorkshireman, and someone to whom I owe an enormous debt of gratitude, William Hague. If you work hard, we will cut your taxes, but only if we keep cutting the deficit so we can afford to do that. For those wanting to buy a home, yes, we will help you get on that housing ladder, but only if we take on the vested interests and build more homes, however hard that may be. We will make sure your children get a great education, the best education, but only if we keep on taking on everybody who gets in the way of high standards. And for those retiring, we will make sure you get a decent pension and real rewards for your life in work, but only if we as a country accept we all have to work a bit longer and save a bit more. With the next Conservative government, we will always have the most competitive corporate taxes in the G20. Lower than Germany, lower than Japan, lower than the United States. That is our commitment. But George said something really important in that absolutely brilliant speech on Monday. A message to those global companies. We have cut your taxes, now you must pay what you owe. We won't just aim to lower youth unemployment, we aim to abolish it. And we have made clear decisions. We will reduce the benefits cap, and we will say to those 21 and under, no longer will you have the option of leaving school and going straight into a life on benefits. You must earn or learn. And we will help by funding 3 million apprenticeships. Let us say to our young people, a life on welfare, that is no life at all. Instead, here is some hope. Here is a chance to get on and make something of your lives. That is our message to young people in Britain today. When companies employ staff on 0 hours contracts and then stop them from getting work elsewhere, that is not a free market. That is a fixed market. In a Britain that everyone is proud to call home, people are employed. They are not used. So those exclusive 0 hours contracts that left people unable to build decent lives for themselves, we will scrap them. Criminal gangs trafficking people halfway around the world and making them work in the most disgusting conditions. I've been to see these. Houses on our terraced streets, built for families of 4, but cramming in 15 people like animals. And to those crime lords who think they can get away with it, I say no, not in this country, not with this party. Our modern slavery bill will mean we are coming after you and we are going to put a stop to it once and for all. Today, right here today, the minimum wage reaches £6.50 an hour, and before long we'll reach our next goal of £7 an hour. And I can tell you now that a future Conservative government will raise the tax-free personal allowance from £10,500 to £12,500. With a Conservative government, we will raise the threshold at which people pay the 40p rate. It is currently £41,900. In the next Parliament, we will raise it to £50,000. Look, Ed, people forget their car keys. My children sometimes forget their homework. I once even forgot that I left Nancy down the pub. Samantha, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. But let me say this, you cannot be Prime Minister of this country and forget the most important issue that we face. Here is our renewed commitment to first-time buyers. If you're prepared to work and save, we will help you get a place of your own. At this conference, we've announced a landmark new policy. It's called Starter Homes. We're going to build 100,000 new homes, and they will be at least 20% cheaper than normal. But here's the crucial part. Buy-to-let landlords won't be able to snap them up. Wealthy foreigners won't be able to buy them. Just first-time buyers under the age of 40. Homes built for you, made for you. Our party, the Conservative Party, the party of home ownership, once again. Well, I've got a bit of news for you. It's something we've never really said before. We in this party, we are a trade union too. And I tell you who we represent. This party is the union for hard-working parents, for the father who reads his children stories at night because he wants them to learn, the mother who works all the hours God sends to give her children the best start. This party is the trade union for children from the poorest estates and the most chaotic homes. This party is the union for the young woman who wants an apprenticeship, for the teenagers who want to make something of their lives. This is who we represent. These are the people that we are fighting for, and that is why on education we will not let Labour drag us back to square one. We're going to finish what we have begun. This is personal. I'm someone who has relied on the NHS and whose family knows more than most just how important it is. Who knows what it's like when you go to hospital night after night with a sick child in your arms, knowing that when you get there, there were people who will love that child and care for that child just as like it was their own. And how dare they suggest I would ever put that at risk for other people's children? How dare they frighten those who rely on a National Health Service? The next Conservative government will protect the NHS budget and continue to invest more. Because we know this truth, something Labour will never understand and we will never forget. You can only have a strong NHS if you have a strong economy. We know the bigger issue today is migration from within the EU. Immediate access to our welfare system, paying benefits to families back at home, employment agencies signing up people from overseas, not recruiting here, numbers that have increased faster than we in this country wanted, and at a level that was too much for our communities and for our labour markets. All of this has to change, and it will be at the very heart of my renegotiation strategy for Europe. Britain, I know you want this sorted, so I will go to Brussels, I will not take no for an answer, and when it comes to free movement, I will get what Britain needs. They know I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. So we're going to go in as a country, we're going to get our powers back, we're going to fight for our national interest, and yes, we'll put it to a referendum, in or out, it will be your choice, and let the message go out from this hall, it is only with the Conservatives that you will get that choice. With a Conservative government after the next election, this country will have a new British Bill of Rights to be passed in our Parliament, rooted in our values, and as for Labour's Human Rights Act, we will scrap it once and for all. This is a straight fight. It doesn't matter whether Parliament is hung, drawn or quartered. There is only one real choice: the Conservatives or Labour. Me in Downing Street or Ed Miliband in Downing Street. If you vote UKIP, that is really a vote for Labour. And here's a thought. Here is a thought for you. On the 7th of May, you could go to bed with Nigel Farage and wake up with Ed Miliband. I don't know about you, but not one bit of that works for me. We are at the moment where all the hard work is finally paying off, and the light is coming up after some long, dark days. Go back now and we'll lose all we've done, falling back into the shadows when we should be striding into the sun. That's the question next May. Do you want to go back to square one or finish what we have begun? This is a great country, and we can be greater still, because history is not written for us, but by us in the decisions that we make today. And that starts next May. So Britain, what's it going to be? I say let's not go back to square one. Let us finish what we have begun. Let us build a Britain we are proud to call home, for you, for your family, for everyone.